I barely could spell liberate when I graduated high school. So the fact that I now have written 15 books for children, that I've been an actress for 47 years, my life hinged on a couple seconds I didn't see coming. Put yourself in the path and then see what happens.
Last year, I started a conversation about life's turning points. This season, we're talking about what comes next, the next day and beyond. I'm Melinda French Gates. These are the moments that make us. Jamie,
Hi,
I'm
Melinda.
so glad we finally get to have
Yes,
this conversation.
me too.
I've been a big fan of your body of work for a long time.
Thanks.
But in some ways, maybe even more importantly, your activism. And I want to get to that. In your career, when you finished one, say, film, how often did you know what your next project was or your next film would be? Tell me about that in-between time where you kind of don't know what's going to come next in your career.
So what most people don't understand, if you're a freelance actor, you're an unemployed actor. I've been unemployed way more than I have been employed, and I'm one of the really lucky ones who started at 19 and am still working at 67. Like, it's unusual. The amount of time I have been unemployed is way more than when I'm employed. And the problem is, the only reason, part of the reason I did commercials and was a spokesperson was it was the only time I had a contract for a couple years of work. Very rare that, in my career that that's happened. So most of the time it's a one-off, and then you're unemployed and looking for work.
And tell me about those in-between times. Like, are you scared? Or do you think maybe I'll never get another film again?
I don't think there's an actor working who doesn't say that they think that this is their last job. It's just because you don't control it. Now, you see, I'm starting to become a boss.
Yes, you are.
And see, the boss part of me allows me to start to control a little more about my work. But prior to being a boss, when you're just an employable actor, you are waiting for someone else to come to you and say, we would like you to participate in this. And you're waiting. It's just like every person here, every member of this crew is waiting for the next call to say, hey, we're gonna be here, but I don't know if they had a job yesterday or if they have a job tomorrow. And the truth is, I'm a boss on a TV show, and I'm also an actor in it. And I know we have another season of it. And that's a very unusual position for me, to know I have another bit of work coming up next March.
What have you done to keep yourself calm in that in-between space? That you don't know if you're going to have another project.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm a mom of 2 kids 10 years apart. So I had 28 years of parenting while navigating work and not work, work and not work. And I would like to say, a very involved mom to the degree that I can be as a working mom. And because of that, you know, the beautiful quotidian, routinized part of raising kids. School, after school,
lunchboxes,
summers,
fill out the forms,
you know, programs, camps, you know,
driving.
And driving. But driving is the beautiful part, because you learn
hear everything. Totally. That's wear beige, lay low.
Yep. Don't say a word. Just listen. Yeah. Wear beige, lay low. There's your new book. Wear beige, a guide to being a mother. Wear beige, lay low. And listen. And listen.
Exactly, because you hear the conversations with their friends and what's really going on.
Yeah.
Tell me what it's like now, though, to be what my youngest daughter would call a boss lady. I mean, the fact that you are running.
I'm a boss.
You're a boss.
But I'm also a really fun boss.
Okay.
I'm a fun boss.
And
I don't take it seriously.
Why was it important for you to want to be a boss?
So I have wanted to start a company called Idea Chick, Idea Girl, my whole life. I'm just an idea person. I've written 15 books for children. I have invented things. I'm an active, creative person. I always knew that's who I was, and I do it in the same kind of spirit that I do this. Like, I don't pretend I'm a boss. I don't like walk around like I'm some boss. I was a cheerleader in high school.
Oh.
I love people, I love teams. My motto is teams make dreams.
Talk about when you were younger, because there'll be a lot of, I hope, younger women watching this.
Of course, that's
Were you an internal cheerleader for yourself, like in the tough times when you were between projects and you weren't sure?
Oh, no.
How long did it take for you to develop this side of yourself, to know yourself deeply?
Well, to thine own self be true, right? I got sober 26 years ago off of a very quiet opiate addiction and kind of constant alcohol usage without any big dramatic, stumbles and precipitous falls into a crevasse of embarrassment. But it was always there. I think that really gave me a confidence to understand that I could arrest something that was a problem for me. To thine own self be true, I think, is the thing that I try to live by. I know when I go to bed at night what I've done for other people. It's the way I can go to sleep and rest my head.
If you were such a sort of, it sounds like early on, a rule follower, okay, yes,
I am.
ma'am.
I was a total good girl.
Okay,
Like, total good girl.
Okay, so, but now you're like a rule breaker and you're creative and you're decided you're going to be a boss. Like, where do you go from being the rule follower to saying, okay,
So
my full self is going to come out?
I'm guessing you were a good girl.
Oh, God, totally. Catholic girl.
Okay.
Straight
so,
A's.
I mean, I'm like not that girl. I was not an academic on any level. I was a cheerleader. I'm an autodidact. I'm a reader. I have to read a book. I can't read it on a screen. And I have to write. I'm not an auditory learner. So lecturing is not going to get in because I'm too distracted. I have decided how I have learned. I wanted to be a bad girl. I loved bad girls. But I was the ultimate good girl. Again, I was raised by a Marine.
Sure.
And, Marines have a code.
Yep.
And I also was going to be a police officer. I actually thought when I graduated high school, college, I thought I would become a police officer, a detective. I went to a girls' school.
Me too.
Westlake School for Girls in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And it was at this beautiful campus in West LA. And the only rule at the school was you weren't allowed to leave campus without a note.
Okay.
Right, that was just the rule. So for a senior class picture, the last year I was at the school, so I was with the cheerleaders, and we were all sitting in a semicircle with our knees crossed, crisscross applesauce, and kind of like smiling like that. And then there were 4 bad girls. And their senior picture was they were walking away from the camera. So their backs were to the camera.
My gosh.
And they were walking off campus. I thought they were James Dean. I thought they were, to this day, the audacity that they would take a picture walking away from the camera, walking through the gates of the school. It was as if they were throwing the bird at everybody. I just thought, I was shaking when I saw it. I was so shocked at that someone could be that brave to break the rule. So I don't look at myself as a rule breaker.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you about bravery because I see it in you.
Well, I appreciate
So
that.
let me tell you what I see.
Okay.
I see an inventor, an activist. In your career now, you're taking on movies where they're really parts of yourself, it looks like, right? Everything, everywhere, all at once. I hardly understood the movie. I'm 61, or about to be 61.
I still don't understand the movie, and but you know what it's a movie about? It's a movie about love. And I only understood it, just so you know, when I was at the laundromat and they were shooting the scene where Key and Michelle reconnect.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing them do the scene and then going, oh, the movie's about love. Oh, okay, because I also could barely understand it.
But to take on such unusual roles, right? And to so play the dimension of these roles. And even you talking about, look, we shouldn't think of aging as a bad thing. Like, you're willing to speak your truth in the world, and that takes bravery.
I'm not sure I would call it bravery. So let's just talk body image.
Okay, great.
So we're referring to the More magazine article where I took off my clothes and showed the unsuspecting
body at this
American
age.
public,
Yeah.
women, what my body looked like. The reason I did that is twofold. One, I write books for children, and my books for children are about things. They are my best thing. They're the best thing I will ever have brought the world, besides my own children and my, But in my creative life, my books are the best thing I will ever give. And they are books about ideas and complications about being young. And this one book was a book about self-esteem, and it was called I'm Gonna Like Me, Letting Off a Little Self-Esteem. And it was talking about what self-esteem, where does it come from? And part of what I was talking about was that I had succumbed to a feeling of low self-esteem because I had done plastic surgery when I was very young, because I was hereditarily sort of looking tired, and it was becoming a bit of a problem in my work. And I felt like, well, if I'm writing a book about self-esteem, I have to tell the truth. And I had and so I said to More magazine, you know what? I'll do your cover, but rather than just the pretty picture of Jamie sitting there like this, where women are gonna look at it and go, oh, she's so pretty. I said, let me show them what I really look like, because I believe that after the movie Perfect and all of my body image, it's important that they understand that I'm just a regular looking woman. And that was liberating. That wasn't brave. That was liberating. I've never felt freer in my life than the day I walked into a photo session and said, turn on the awful overhead lights and put nothing on me, and I'm gonna stand here in my underwear. And then you can glam me up, but then you have to show both pictures side by side, and you have to show how long it took to glam me up, how much money it cost, and how many people. And that, if that was brave, to me it was liberation. So being sober is liberation, right? It's a prison, because you're in a prison of shame if you feel like you have a dependence, an addiction on something. And if you release that, that's liberation. So for me, it's less bravery, it's more liberation. Everything Everywhere All at Once is a liberation for me from the traditional image of me in the movies. And it allowed me to play Deirdre in the way that Deirdre was. And I very specifically wanted to look the way I looked, and it was, again, a liberation for me as an actor.
How do we liberate other women? Because I think right now in society, or maybe for all of time, we try and put women in these roles, in these boxes. You are both an actor, an inventor, a mother, right? A boss now. But we say to women, be this or be that, or women inculcate, you should be this or be that, or, oh, you have to choose between a mother and a career, and you can't do both well, when that's not the truth. Two things can be true at once. What do we do to help liberate women?
Wow. Wow. That's a profound question. That's a profound question. What do we do to liberate women? Well, liberation comes from restriction, freedom. So to liberate someone is to remove them from a prison, to remove them from the restrictions that either society or the family or your husband or your job requires of you. And that takes leadership to create workplaces to allow that liberation. That liberation is only, I don't believe it's just going to be the doors open to you. Every woman, if I asked every woman here, working here today, how long it took to get to be behind that camera or behind that recording equipment, my guess is that job wasn't available to them. I don't know what the key to opening that door of liberation is, except examples of women like yourself who use the position of power, influence, exposure that you have, that I have, to lead by example and to welcome in women into the world and to create opportunities for them. It is. I mean, it's a profound question. That could be a, I mean, not that you need my advice, but you could literally ask that question to 100 women all over the world and write a book about that idea of how do we do it? Because it's not also a conscious thing on my part. And besides the Book of Awakening, which we both share, the Mark Nepo Book of Awakening, which is a daily, it's sort of a daily idea that's posited by him using other thought leaders. And then he, as a poet, kind of consolidates it into an offering of each day. And it's a book that was really profound for me.
Me too.
But the book that really changed my life was a book called Special Topics in Calamity Physics by an author named Marisha Pessel. And in it, it's a mystery, and in it, someone, whoever's voice it is saying, you know, we think that life is about where you were raised, what your parents did, where you went to school, what your first job was, starting salary, that's what determines your life. And then she wrote in this book, it isn't. And she said, life hinges on a couple seconds you never see coming. And what you do in those seconds determines everything from then on, and you won't know what you're going to do until you're there. That changed my life because I realized that has happened to me. And all of a sudden, all of the, I don't know what I'm doing, what am I supposed to do, all of the, where is the path, what path am I supposed to be on to liberate, to get out, right? I barely could spell liberate when I graduated high school. So the fact that I now have written 15 books for children, that I have, that I've been an actress for 47 years, what happened? My life hinged on a couple seconds I didn't see coming. It hinged, it pivoted 100%. And that's where you have to just also put yourself in the path and then see what happens.
What was that moment that liberated you? What is that unhinged?
Well, getting sober
Yeah.
was a hinge. You know, I saw my husband's picture in a magazine and said I was going to marry him. Literally, to a girlfriend sitting on a couch like we're sitting.
You just knew it.
I looked in a magazine and went there and went, oh, I'm going to marry that guy. She said, who? I was like, that one. And I ended up leaving my number with his agent. He never called me. And then months later, I ran into him at a restaurant where he was sitting as far away as you are. And he looked at me and went like this. And I looked at him and went. And then he got up to leave. And then he stood there and he went. And I went. And he left, but he called me the next day. We got married 4 months later. My life hinged on a couple seconds I never saw coming. Both of my children are adopted.
Right.
My life hinged on a couple seconds I didn't see coming. I didn't know when I picked up the phone that I was going to become a mother. The jobs I've done have led to other jobs. Again, the hinging is I didn't know. It's ridiculous, but even Halloween, which was a little low-budget horror movie, the truth of the matter is, the reason John Landis hired me for Trading Places was because when John Landis was doing a short about horror movie trailers called Coming Soon, remember those 50s horror movie trailers? Yeah. He was doing a documentary about them, and he said, I need somebody to narrate this documentary. And obviously they were like, oh, well, the current Scream Queen. I was 23, and he met me to do that. And then when he was casting Trading Places, he told Paramount, I'm going to put this girl in that part. And they were like, no, you're not. It's the female lead in a huge studio comedy. You're going to hire a well-known comedian. And he said no. But my point is, my life when I met him to do a horror movie trailer narration, it hinged my life, because the next thing I know, I met him, did that work, and then all of these other movies hinged from that.
So you can't predict.
Nothing.
Okay, just before we close, what role has spirituality played in your life? You and I both love this Mark Nepo book.
Yeah.
It touches a place in me that is hard for me to describe to people. What role has spirituality played in all of this?
I wrote the foreword for that book.
You did.
In this edition. And I was not raised with any religion. I was, my mother read something called the Daily Word. My father was Jewish, but not a practicing member of the Jewish faith, you know. And I was raised really with no religion. And so I did find all through my adulthood, I have looked. I've read Houston Smith's The Religions of Man, and my daughter was a Buddhist for a while. And so I have opened myself to what is religion, what is a gathering of people with a common thread. What does that do for you? Is that spirituality, or is that routine? And does routine yield spirituality?
The ritual.
Is there a shared
Community
experience?
or
Is
connection.
this is spirituality to me?
Yes.
This right here. I don't know what God is, but I'm also sober. And the tenets of sobriety is a belief in something bigger than you. Now, in my world, this is bigger than me, because I'm not alone
Yeah, of
right
course.
now. I am connected to you, a stranger,
Totally.
until an hour ago.
Yep.
So to me, that's as close to God as I need to come. I don't believe God is a puppet master, but I say, God bless you to people all day long. Because I do believe there is a presence of God in my life, in all of the aspects of my life, in all the hinges.
Exactly.
God was hinging.
Yeah.
That wasn't just random. In the great success that I have now had as a professional, when I say it's a we program, it's a we event, I'm including God in that. I don't understand why I get this. Why do I get to sit here with you?
Right.
Me.
How did we? Same. I feel the same way.
But
it's
so there
that-
has to be
the-
something.
There's one of my absolute favorite lines in a musical is at the end of Les Miserables, and it's, to love another person is to see the face of God. And I was like, oh, that's what my spirituality is. That's
Yeah.
it's that connection between one another, and whatever flows between that, to me, that is spirituality, and you have to trust it.
And I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
You see it with everybody. It isn't an elitist concept.
Oh, gosh, no.
It's a human
Yeah.
concept.
Well, we need to end.
I don't believe that's true.
But we,
I actually see, here I am. Here's my rule breaker. Here I am. Here's the rebel.
you're like,
No.
okay, we're
How
gonna
about
go
just no?
3 more hours.
Just no. You guys can leave, but I'll stay here.
I have loved this.
Me too.
It's been wonderful, and I hope we get another chance. I know,
I'm a
I know
hugger.
we will.
Me too.